Right after learning that I am no contact with my family, my boyfriend went to my parents and asked their permission to marry me. So I dumped him. I don't talk to my parents, haven't said a word to them since I was 16. I don't want to put the reason here, but it was bad enough that me never speaking to them again could be seen as them getting off lightly. I left home at 16 by marrying my best friend. He knew what was happening the whole time and wanted to help me. And it was bad enough that marriage was the best escape plan I had. It was the only way to avoid being dragged back home, but we divorced 5 years later. I took his surname to avoid being tied to my parents, and my friend and I are so close. He actually set me up with my current boyfriend. My mom contacted me right before Christmas. She was asking if her and dad could see me on Christmas Day. My boyfriend saw the message and asked who it was. I admitted she was my mother. This led to questions, as the only time I talked about my parents was to say I don't speak to them. I said that she found me, but I wasn't going to reply. I said I have my reasons, which I'm not ready to tell yet, but I would as soon as I was ready. He said that was good enough for him. I blocked her and moved on. It's been a few months, and I've been trying to tell him, but it's hard. It's like every time I try, I just can't get the words out. And then tonight, on our second anniversary, he proposed, using my nan's ring, which my parents have. I asked where he got it, and he told me he'd gone to see my parents. He got mom's name when she messaged me, contacted her, and went to see her within a few days of me getting that message, the whole time knowing that I didn't want to hear from her. He'd asked them for permission to marry me, and they'd given him nan's ring because nan always meant for me to have it. I don't know if I actually dumped him. I definitely told him to leave, but I didn't actually break up with him. He's at his sister's place right now and keeps calling, texting me, wanting to know what he did and asking me to call him. And his sister, who I'm friends with, is also asking what's happened. I love him, but this is honestly the only thing like this that I've ever asked of him. I love my nan, but knowing he asked my parents for permission and knowing how he got nan's ring just makes me feel sick. He gave me his reasoning through messages and voicemails. His stance is that there's an importance to the tradition, and family is important. And there's mentions of my parents meeting our kids one day, and dad walking me down the aisle at our wedding. He seems to think the whole thing's fixable, and it sounds like they gave him some fake story about them grounding me, so I ran away or something equally minor on their part, and drastic on mine. He's also said that they seemed like nice people, and if he'd gotten a bad feeling when he was messaging my mom, he would never have gone to meet them. From what he said, they asked about me, specifically what I do and my workplace, and he's given them this information, but no means of contacting me directly. Update. I talked to my ex-husband about it, because he was there for the whole thing and watched it happen in real time, and he said he would be there for me and talk if I couldn't. My ex-husband was not happy with my boyfriend, to say the least, and told me that my boyfriend had actually asked him what happened about 6 months ago, but my ex-husband had said it was up to me to tell him when I was ready, and my boyfriend had said that was fair enough and he'd wait for me to tell him. So boyfriend comes over, ex-husband is already there, boyfriend asks why ex-husband is here. I say I invited him for emotional support when I tell him everything. Boyfriend isn't happy but sits down. I then begin to tell him. The first thing I said was what they did in the bluntest language possible. I started to elaborate when boyfriend interrupts and says something like, they told me you'd lie. Ex-husband tells him to watch how he's speaking to me, and boyfriend says he'll speak to me how he likes, and then tells me that he knew the truth, and implies I should be thanking him for sticking around. The truth appears to be my parents telling him that I was always unstable, refused to see a mental health professional, and eventually they caught me breaking the law, and rather than report me, they grounded me, and I ran away rather than get grounded. All of which is absurd, and I honestly can't believe that he bought it. Ex-husband tells ex-boyfriend that he has half an hour to pack his poop and leave, and if he speaks to me at all, his time straight goes to 0. Ex-boyfriend packs his poop and leaves silently. So to recap, he knew that 1, I've not spoken to my parents in a decade. 2, I got married at 16 and took my husband's surname to escape, hide from them. 3, it was bad enough that I still have nightmares over it. And 4, I'd tell him when I was ready. Within a few days of hearing point 4, he sought out my parents and asked permission to marry me based on his own gut feeling about them. They fed him lies about me, which he bought, and he gave them information which includes my full name, job field, place of work, and possibly the address of our flat. While they have not done anything with this information yet, my ex-boyfriend has stayed in touch this whole time. So if he messages them saying I broke up with him, they might decide to pay me a visit now there's no longer a man in the house. My ex-husband has offered to stay with me temporarily. I don't know if I have grounds for an RO, but it might be time to look for a new place.